Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Roaming Prepper channel, and every time I see that intro, it reminds me of war games. For those of you who are younger, you may not have seen it. That was the first or one of the early movies where computers rebelled or basically went amok on the Department of Defense in popular culture. So, hey, Angie, how are you? And Joe, Angie, be sure to drive carefully. No need to get in a wreck. Can always do a replay. I won't have hurt feelings if you do. Um, that was a cool show. Shall we play a game and all that stuff? I've made that reference to younger adults who are not my kids, and they give me this glazed look, like they literally have no idea what I'm talking about. Another one that popped in my head, you guys would appreciate, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I remember seeing it as a little kid, and I really don't remember other than the music that I don't remember the whole thing of the movie, other than there was a mountain and they played music and then all the windows broke on the cars, and that was about the extent of. Hey Donna, how are you? Arkansas, what's going on? Hello. That was a good movie. There are some very good movies. Again, if you guys did not get a chance, I would watch the movie Dragon Day. I swear is it an Amazon movie, or you can find it online if you dig for it. It's like a 3-star movie. It's not super high end, but the premise is creepy, and it's definitely something you need to check out. So I'm a big movie head. I love watching movies because spawns the imagination. And although the last 2 years has kind of been a movie in and of itself. Hey, Van City, how goes it in Canada? They declared emergency whatever conditions, and but the cops are just giving out tickets. Like the premier, I guess the premiers or your governors up there, or basically saying, yeah, we don't need the military. We just need to like tow trucks and give tickets and whatnot. Well, there you go. Yeah. Yes, Dragon Day is a good movie. So interesting that what exactly, and actually I was reading it before. The emergency acts in Canada. I'm trying to find not energy, good Lord. Apparently I can't spell. There we go. The emergency acts in Canada. What powers will it give Trudeau? Let's take a peek at that. No, I don't want to register for this crap. Okay, hold on just a second. Let's see if I could share this without crashing my laptop. You guys should be able to see it. Can you guys see it all right? There's no audio on this one. So let's see, what is this stupid advertisement thing? Let's see. So the law will grant Mr. Trudeau's government extraordinary powers for 30 days, including power to prohibit public assembly, travel, and the use of specific property. Law enforcement on Sunday reopened the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor after a week-long standstill, but in Ottawa, hundreds of demonstrators have begun their third week. The situation must meet the high bar of urgent or critical situation that seriously endangers the lives of Canadians. The cabinet may only invoke the legislation if the emergency cannot be addressed by existing federal law and exceeds the capacity of the provinces to handle. That's actually emergency act. Nice. Well, and then Castro killed a bunch of people too. So it's the public order one. See, and that's concerning when you think about it. Actually, the article goes on to say that the Emergencies Act outlines four different types. Okay, here you go: public welfare, public order, international emergencies, and war emergencies. So Van City just posted that it would be the public, so public welfare or public order. Uh, Four scenarios: sabotage, foreign influenced activity, threats of or use of acts of violence, and covert unlawful acts meant to overthrow the government. I really don't see the Canadian truckers being any of the above. Um, See, and this concerns me. That bothers me. I know the government has to open stuff up, right? They can't stay there forever. Um, but we need at least. Thank you, Donna. Um, but that's concerning, and I'll show you some other article now. And again, it's whether you like the current president here in the states or not. It says the article says the Biden administration is trying to criminalize dissent, and uh, and again, this is it's not just the president per se. It's a lot of governments are taking this route where they're going after dissenters. America now has its very own Ministry of Truth. The Department of Homeland Security issued a summary of terrorist threats to the homeland, calling out the proliferation of false or misleading narratives which sow discord and undermine public trust in U.S. institutions. Uh, it later warned law enforcement that U.S. truckers were attempting to protest using a freedom convoy pursuit. And those familiar with George Orwell's classic 1984 know that the Ministry of Truth is a highly effective propaganda machine in that book. Um, I guess this is one of those things that, hey, buddy, Yardbirds, I'm not in here. There is no Yardbird. There's yard things. This is concerning because what we're having, the modern republics and democracies in the West were based on dissent and debate and open forum of ideas, barring outright threats and violence. And hey, Klingon princess, it doesn't really seem like that's the case. I mean, this is kind of extreme. So basically, and man, that becomes very easy to do when you're all on crypto, right? They just push a button and there goes your bank account. Um, so basically, if you're going to do something like this, pull all your money from the bank and have it at home. Um, that's a negative turn of events. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that was done, as Joe quaintly pointed out earlier, in Cuba. It was done in Venezuela. It was done in several countries that became dictatorships. They froze accounts. They declared you a terrorist. As I mentioned on my last live, they even went so far as to claim that Ted Cruz was responsible for the trucker convoy in Ottawa, which or he was I don't know, he had some influence over it, which is absolutely stupid. I, I could think of a dozen other people who politically would love to have done that, but he's not one of them. Like it just didn't make any sense. Um, but again, that whole trend of squashing speech, and people need to be advised that it works both ways, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a liberal or conservative, a left or right leaning government. Once they start squishing the rights to dissent, and they start freezing bank accounts, putting people in hardship, one of two things will happen: is either A, they're going to they're trying to take over the country and they're going to screw up everyone's rights, or B, the people are going to flip out, and then now they have an excuse to bring in the army because the people flipped out. That whole trend I just don't like. even the ACLU, it's one of those rare cases where you have like organizations like the NRA and the ACLU actually agreeing on something and saying, well, wait a minute, you can't squash their right to vote. You're hurting everybody, or right to speak out. So um, yeah, yeah, there's no Yardbirds here, but yeah, it's just weird. I don't like this little trend, and again, they've accused other presidents of doing this and silencing dissenters, and I guess people in power always do that to some extent. But it seems, hey, Sherry Leach, how are you? It seems that there's kind of this trend. Um, and honestly, I haven't heard much from our friends in Australia in a hot minute. I hear a bunch from the Canadians uh, because, we're right next door to each other. So if we don't hear something, like somebody would just like come across the border on their tractor and go tell their friend, hey, guess what? This is what happened to us. Um, so yeah, hopefully that'll get settled down. But yeah, they're kind of I'm not a fan of that. I really am not, and that concerns the hell out of me. And I don't care where you stand. Uh, right, and what's sad is two of those, and that's a good way to put it. Yardbirds, two of those will justify even heavier-handed behavior, resulting in the third, actually. Um, and oh, of course, like what happened in Kazakhstan, that was genuinely an attempt to destroy the government, which of course became very violent very quickly. So hopefully that doesn't become the case. But this is the kind of stuff we all have to watch for. I try not to be overly political, but the bottom line is the decisions and motivations of people in power, wherever they may be, will affect all of us. It affects us at every level, whether we can speak out, whether we can go to the store or be in public or even afford what we're trying to buy. So we need to pay attention to them, whether we like them or not. Um, I don't know. That's hey Hudson, what's going on? John, cheers. And John, I actually that's a Scottish flag, if I recall correctly. I actually found the keychain of the long-haired cattle with the little Scottish flag on him. I don't know who gave it to me. It was my last trip to Aberdeen. Someone gave it to me as a giveaway, and I found it the other day, and I said, man, there's somebody in my chats who's has the Scottish flag, and I swore it was you, but in any case, yeah, I don't know. So interesting though. Speaking of politicians and people getting ticked off. In San Francisco, the school district, let me see, school district. So the Francisco, I can't speak, school board, oh, for crying out loud, these advertisements agitate me. Yeah, it's every now and then they do get a penalty, and here's a great example. So, in a landslide, San Francisco forces out 3 Board of Education members, um, including one who made blatantly racist comments to. It was not a black minority. I think it was the Hispanics or the Asian community, and it was just so it was so cheeky what this person did, and it just pissed off all the families. So more than 70% of voters supported the recall of each member when initial results were released. They hadn't even finished, and one of the board members conceded defeat. Those votes made up about a quarter of the registered voters in the city, and turnout was not expected to be considerably higher. um, People rising up in revolt in San Francisco and saying it's unacceptable to abandon your responsibility to educate our children. Um, uh, the debate in other cities. The recall was a victory for parents who were angered that the district spent time deciding whether to rename schools instead of focusing on reopening them and educating the children. And appeared to galvanize the Asian American vote in that area, who turned out in very large numbers. They were incensed when the school board introduced a lottery admission system for Lowell High School, the district's most prestigious institution, abolishing requirements based on grades, performance, test scores, and behaviors. So basically, they were like, well, wait a minute, my kid's performing. Hey, Lucky and Red and Bug Dude. Oh, that's scary. And it was, hey, Monique. And oh, I said hi to Hudson. I missed somebody in here. Tennessee, what's going on? So yeah, they basically kicked their butts out, which makes me exceedingly happy. Because who the hell wants them here? If they're gonna not do their primary job, then they need to just go. And I know by the way, I'm doing this live a little earlier than I normally do, and on the wrong day. My whole week schedule is screwed up right now. But I figured I'd throw a few of these things out there because I think they're relevant to all of us. And actually, speaking of relevance and the Rona and all this stuff, this article really isn't meant to discuss the Rona per se. But hey, Puddle, what's going on? Red, we are covering kind of a mix of stuff that popped on the radar. We were just talking earlier about governments in North America that were very blatantly trying to pass laws that prohibited free speech or limited, the right of the people to assemble or protest, for that matter. In particular, the fact that oops, sorry, folks. So I'm gonna have to call that guy back. And again, this is the way it's been all week. Is I'll get a 30-minute break, and then if I'm lucky, and then all the wheels fall off. So, but yeah, it's that's where we started. And now we're kind of running into different articles that are kind of, because we got a lot going on in the world lately. This one I saw looking for another article, but I thought it was relevant to us. So it said U.S. excess deaths during pandemic surpassed 1 million. Obviously, they're blaming the Rona with the majority. But what I do want to point out is a lot of, good Lord, Peppermint. No, ma'am. That is why you're in a kennel, crackhead. Shh. The neighbor's dog is freaking out, and now they're freaking out. It's saying, oh, it's the UPS truck is the enemy again. Yeah, so they're saying gas prices are going down and going up. Yeah, I wasn't just me, because she startled me, and I can only imagine y'all with headsets right now. Your heads are vibrating. Hey, Robert. And hey, that's enough. You got busted for eating Jackson's bed. Yeah, they're still angry. I'm telling you. Crackheads. Jeez. And it's always, you notice, it's always right around like the 4 o'clock time that UPS trucks rolls by. Gas is under $3 here. We're right at a little over $3 now. That's up about 14 cents. Ouch. You reach for the treats. So, yeah, what they are saying in the article, boy, it's amazing how like a delivery truck totally screwed everything up here. They're saying there was a huge increase in things ranging from heart attacks to cancer, uh, mental health issues, suicide, which we've all talked about before. Hold on just a second, because somebody obviously doesn't understand the commands he's given regarding not whining. Hold on. And that concludes that. So, sucks to suck. He's now in the laundry room by himself. You hush. Go to bed. She's looking for something to argue about. Um, I know they're trying to defend me from the evil UPS truck. They stopped barking at the trash truck. We have that trash truck with the big claw that grabs the bin and dumps it in the back. And they ran out on me one day to bark at the trash truck and saw that arm come out and grab the bin and throw it and then drop it. And the dogs freaked the hell out. They all ran inside and they've never come out to argue with the trash truck again. Dead serious. Um, that's Chewy DoorDash. It might be Chewy DoorDash. So that's what Peppermint thinks. Just like, it's going to get you. But this article, when I saw this and I started reading through it, heart disease, hypertension, dementia, they say that they think it could be upwards of 1 million deaths, not per se death due to COVID directly, but more death due to not taking care of yourself during the shutdowns. Because it is the claw. That's exactly what it is, the claw. And she's brave. She'll still go to the door and bark, but she won't go run out and like challenge it, because I guess she doesn't want the claw to get her. So she'll bark from the yard. The other two won't even come out the door. They're like, nope. A lot of folks, they put off healthcare or whatever, and we've talked about this on a variety of channels, a variety of channels. Increase in use of drugs, alcohol, all sorts of stuff. So folks, that's my PSA today is, please, if you've put it off and you have the means to do it, or insurance, if you can get any ailment, illness, or chronic condition looked at or updated, do it. Now that they're reopening stuff the way they should. Hey, Papa, what's going on? And Puddle, you're absolutely right. That's not even counting being unable to visit the elderly. I know my sister's older than I am, and she didn't get to see her grandkids for almost a year, and she said it was depressing. So yeah, if you've got something you have the means to take care of, hey, what's going on, Papa? Make sure you take that time to take care of yourselves, y'all, because remember, it's not going to be. You only get one go round on this pony ride, so make sure you do right and by yourself. If you've taken care of yourself, and that's one of the most important preps, is your mental and physical health. Not only to take care of yourself, but so that you're not a liability or a struggle for people who care for you. So, but yeah, do that. And although some days, he just got off work. So, that's insane. Like, how do they pull that stuff off and get away with it? Yeah. No, I would be, if I started whiskey souring before some meetings, I'd probably be unemployed right now for being an ass. Yeah. I mean, it all starts there. If you haven't taken care of yourself, you're gonna struggle no matter what you do. Yeah, it's tough. So Uh, we've been hearing it's yeah, just we need to, and again, that goes back to the removal of freedoms. It's almost gotten to the point where I feel like leaders don't care that they're hurting people. Not all of them, obviously, but enough of them that it's causing harm. And again, the fact that the San Francisco school board basically they voted to kick out half their members makes me amazingly happy, uh, because they weren't focused on the kids. They were focused on themselves, their career, their, being politically correct or politically a ninja, whatever the hell they were trying to do. And the parents and the community said, to hell with you, and kicked them out. And I think that's, yeah, it does. Especially when you have no visitors, Tommy. Because if you have family coming over regularly, they're going to be on their toes. But if they can shut you out, they're not gonna. They're. It's going to be hard to really keep an eye on them. Oh yeah, that I thought was hysterical too. There was no mask. And granted, most of the spectators were probably pie-eyed and shit-faced by the time the game started. I probably would have been, so I didn't count them because they were probably couldn't feel any pain anyway. But definitely all those bigwigs, including the very politicians who are still enforcing mandates, didn't have mandates for themselves. I think it's agitating. Thank you, Hudson. It is. It is. It's yeah, if they yeah, see, that's certain facilities will do that if they can get away with it. So definitely, yeah, and just like I said, that first article about the Fed or the White House trying to squash dissension, and then you have Trudeau up north, emergency powers when his very governors, called premiers up there, are telling him we don't need that. We just need a few extra like RCMP to come out here, and we're going to tow all their shit. And, and that's within the law, right? You're blocking a road deliberately, being a pest. The cops do have a right to fine you and tow your truck, and that's fine. But emergency powers freezing people's bank accounts, now their kids can't eat. That's what dictators do. That's not what democracies and republics do, and that disturbs the shit out of me, and it should disturb everyone. Um, yeah, and rules for thee, not for me. So yeah, we got to keep these folks to account, and both parties, everybody. And some of us will go on YouTube, some of us will go to the streets, some write petitions, whatever it is, whatever your direction is. Any action is better than none. So if all you do is sit there and write emails and letters all day and agitate the crap out of the leaders, that's fine. That's better than just doing nothing and complaining to the TV, which sadly is what 85-90% of the populace does, if they even understand what's going on. So yeah, so no court order needed. Yeah, and that blows my mind. Where's your due process? See, and I'm so curious now because I always thought Canada, Australia had rights and checks and balances the way we do in the States, because that in and of itself right there, oh, sorry, that would violate the Fourth Amendment, right? I would sue the crap out of a bank on the Fourth Amendment. I didn't get due process, and it would stick. It would stick because uh, you can't music. Um, Yeah, it's concerning. So we actively need to make people aware of this when we see it. Obviously, it looks like it's going the other way right now, but you never know, right? It's all bread and circuses. And did anyone else notice all the crypto commercials during the Super Bowl? That was interesting too, wasn't it? Uh, See, and that would be very hard to do because if they tried to do that here, half the states, if not more, would basically tell the feds to piss off. Uh, like I said, the governor of Texas told, I don't remember what federal agency, that if they take an action that is deemed to be denying Texas citizens their rights, their constitutional rights, both under the state or the Fed, that the ranger would arrest the federal agent. And so then the whatever agency it was that pissed off the governor then had to call the governor, and they arranged the proper way to do things, and then the governor was happy with that. But he basically said that I'm going to have the rangers arrest whatever agent comes in and does something I don't like, because this is our state. And I know that agitated the crap out of Washington, but it makes me happy. uh, the food waste commercial was neat. And we shouldn't waste food. I mean, I actually think that was kind of smart. Yeah, you do get deleted. Yeah, so what happens if they EMP a country or they hack the country and there goes your crypto? Pff, there's no physical coin to prove you have currency. That would be a great way to screw up a nation, wouldn't it? I don't know about that. It might be, man. I don't know. I haven't invested in it, and I'm not super. I mean, what does it produce? You go to some GM makes cars, they make, Intel makes computer stuff. What does Bitcoin make? It's just some magical algorithm in the interwebs that you clickety click and dollars appear. I don't know about that. It just, yeah. So probably not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Yeah. Well, they want to try anyway. Hey, Ghetto, what's going on, man? So, speaking of collapses, I'd mentioned on a previous live that one of my big fears, I wasn't sold that Putin would attack Ukraine because it would be stupid. The Ukrainians are already pissed, including the Russian ethnic Ukrainians, and they will have a hell of an insurgency if they attack the country. And I don't know if that would really help Russia's economy at all, other than force the price of oil up. Um, so he can get a windfall of money and then go, I changed my mind, and send everyone home, and he just got billions of dollars, which I still think is part of his game in the background. But my big fear was that with all these units on alert in close proximity, someone's going to screw up and shoot, sink, blow up somebody else, and it's going to escalate. And then these geniuses who are posturing militaries all over that area, it's going to it's going to run away from them. And to Joe's point, yeah, it's a proverbial dead horse. Uh, my fear is the smooth-brained leaders we have are like, oh, well, we'll just move the little puppets around, and all these airplanes will fly around, and somebody in the field, right, a physical human who's being shot at or frightened, will react and blow something else up, and all of a sudden there's shooting going on, and the leaders are now, uh-oh, like it ran away on them. It's like the little kid pushing the shopping cart for his mom down the hill, and then he loses control of it, and now everyone's chasing the damn shopping cart. That's what I see our leaders, our global leaders, doing right now. is they're pushing the shopping cart of war, and now somebody may let go of it, and now they're going to be chasing the damn thing down the hill. Um, so yeah, exactly. There was none. I've never heard of a military going to, I will attack you on Wednesday. Haha. No, who the hell does that? They think they'll attack. They've been saying, we think they'll attack this week for 4 months. I mean, yeah, it's, I don't know. But here's what I'm talking about that kind of concerns me. So, hold on, let me almost, nah, hold on a second here. I'm having a article failure. Okay, here we go. So here's the first article for you guys. And I got to call my work guy back here in a little bit. This is what I'm talking about that concerns me. Russian planes intercept U.S. Navy aircraft over the Mediterranean, the Pentagon, right? And then it goes on to say, while no one was hurt, interactions such as these could result in miscalculations and mistakes. The three P-8A Maritime Patrol reconnaissance aircraft experienced unprofessional intercepts by Russian fighters. The U.S. will continue to operate safely, professionally, and consistent with international law. What essentially wound up happening with these knuckleheads is they were passing each other at high speed so fast. So these little, the P-8 Orions, it's a propeller plane. It looks like a little like C-130 looking thing. It's really not a super high-tech plane. It's just all electronics. And these Russian fighters were zooming past them, breaking the sound barrier as they went by and making the planes wobble. And they almost collided a couple of times with each other and with the Russians. And because the Russians were having fun, right? They're just zipping through each other. And this is the kind of stupid people in the field, and all of a sudden they crash, or somebody fires at somebody because they got freaked out, and now I've shot down somebody's plane, and I just killed 8 American airmen, or I killed 2 Russian pilots in the fighter, and that's where it runs away. I'm telling you. So it's just yeah, well, he didn't kill Goose though in this one, Yardbirds, but still, it's they're just zipping around, and someone's gonna make a mistake, and yeah, and everyone's using variations of multicam, OCP. The last time I looked at the Ukrainian special forces, they were wearing American style OCPs, like you could barely tell them apart. The Germans are using Flecktarn. The Russians have that green pokey camo. I don't know what the hell it's called. That's not the technical name, pokey camo. But yeah, like some of our allies are wearing exactly what we're wearing, and that's just an invitation for somebody to mistake somebody and shoot the wrong dude. So yeah, no birds harmed, but it is this is the kind of stupid that will cause somebody to get hurt. I got another one for you. So here, other Navy, let's crash into the Russians, literally crash into them. So Russia captures secret U.S. military equipment. What they wound up capturing was the decoy deployed by an American sub that was apparently in Russian territorial waters, or too close to the Russians. The Russians didn't like the sub wherever it was. And so they ran it off. I don't know how they ran it off, but they ran it away. And in running it away, the sub freaked out and deployed a sonar acoustic dummy, which is self-propelled. And the self-propelled dummy went one way, the sub went the other, and it threw garbage in the water. And so they were trying to figure out where the sub had gone. The sub disappeared, and so they captured the sonar buoy, or whatever the hell it was. It says Russia captured secret U.S. equipment from a Virginia-class nuclear sub that was allegedly operating within their territorial waters. The device was reportedly found off the island of Urup in the Kuril Islands chain. News agency claims the U.S. sub had fired the device after Russian forces used a weapon against the sub. So apparently they dropped a depth charge or something on these guys. Anyway, Russia claimed on February 12th that one of its naval vessels had chased away a U.S. submarine operating in its territorial waters. The U.S. submarine used a self-propelled simulator to split the target image on radar and acoustic control means into two parts and retreated from Russian waters at maximum speed. Of course, the U.S. denies it. But again, this is and Joe, to that point, that's why I started this live with the Emergency Powers Act and then the comment about the White House basically creating its own ministry of truth, trying to shut down newspapers. Anybody who speaks out, go after your banks, go after your public relations, go after your social media, investigate your family. That behavior on the part of North American leaders, specifically in Canada and the US, we're all looking at Russia and people aren't realizing they're doing this shit in the background. And that bothers me. And it should concern everybody. Oh, yeah. And he did. He did spend a bunch of money there. Hold on. Whoa. Yeah. And 1984. Yeah, I was wondering, I was trying to, were you stocking up or sneaking up? Okay, sneaking up. The book 1984 has a quote in it, war is peace and slavery is freedom. Slavery is freedom. You will own nothing and you will be happy because you have no responsibilities. War is peace. If we're fighting some foreign entity, we're not fighting with each other and fighting with our own government because of the stupidity they do. Orwell was not wrong, guys, at all, at all. Um, yeah, and they're inundating us with Russia, and I don't think. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of common concerns that we should train together. Hey, color drop. So, or Yardbirds, the people who are running their mouth about it, and they're saying, "Hey, this sucks." Um, I'm wondering, they've got an investigation into some lawyer in the Clinton campaign. They've got an investigation into Trump. I think a bunch of these turds have their hands in the cookie jars. But yeah, the it just doesn't make sense. My big concern as far as the Russia thing is that someone is going to provoke something unnecessary, and that's when it'll take off on these folks. Um, and honestly, it makes you wonder: is this whole thing to keep us looking somewhere else and not at the fact that bleach is $6 a freaking bottle, and you can't find pasta in stores, and we have a bird flu that's killing chickens, so now the price of chicken will go up. Why aren't we addressing those things? Why are we worried about, you know, two countries that technically we don't have formal alliances with fighting, arguing with each other somewhere else? Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, go get after it, Tommy. You got a lot of work going on there. Yeah, and honestly, I don't. Oh, hey, speaking of Russians, woo! I got a Russian bot. How do I doggy barufadoof? How do I delete this fool? Do block user. All right. Did he go away? I don't see him anymore. Yeah, no kidding. And honestly, every like 3, 5 years, we have some outbreak of some cootie, and the chickens or ducks, and then they have to kill a bunch of birds, and then they just breed more birds. But his doggy Baputi was blocked. No, I lucky I booted him from here, so he doesn't even show on StreamYard. So I think he's Kaka now. He is no mas. Bye bye now. See, I was talking about the Russians, and they sent me a bot. Now I feel special. Do we get a challenge coin for that, Lucky? I mean, Red, anybody? Has anyone? Just some gibberish with a little like dude on the front end going, I survived the bots of 2022. I mean, I think that's a legit challenge coin for everyone. There you go. A badge with no bots, a little X through the little gibberish guy. Hey Hava, how are you? So, folks, the president, if you didn't hear earlier, was talking about oil and gas prices going up. We all know it's going to go up because they cut back our drilling and the pipeline. So, and now they're all angry at each other in Europe. We're expecting it, at least from the energy sector, your price of electricity, gasoline, and stuff, it's going to go up gradually through the year. It probably is going to plateau toward the end of the year. And hopefully it'll calm down. And nobody should be super surprised because as industries reopen, they're going to start using energy. So, not a, yeah, it's with Vlad on the Ukraine, migraine. That's like that stupid old movie. God, it was a Cold War spoof. And it was a Russian actually running through the streets of Maine going, the other Russians are coming. Everybody get from street. And God, my dad loved that line. I can't remember the name of the movie. Now it's going to bug me. Hey, Cowboy, what's going on? So, folks, again, as many of us were thinking, the Russia Ukraine thing really didn't make sense. Could it happen? Sure, but it doesn't make sense. It would ruin economies of both countries. It would just be silly. My big fear is someone's going to screw up and cause an incident, and then we'll have a problem. Um, but yeah, the cost of energy is going to go up. And remember, the gasoline, even though we pipeline it to the refineries, we do have to truck it back to the gas station. So if we do have any kind of trucking shutdowns or protests or stuff like that, that's going to screw it up for a month or so. So, if you can cut out a trip, do visits or meetings on Teams, I would do it that way, guys. Um, the good Russians, the bots. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember the movie. It was funny as shit. It was it was like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, stupid. But it was so stupid that it was hysterical. Some movies are stupid and you're like, wow, this is dumb, and you turn it off. No, this one, you just were waiting for the next retarded thing to happen. Um, Trudeau is coming. Okay, that would upset me if his dumb butt was running around Texas. I would be offended by that. So, guys, I'm not seeing the. Oh, that's a work guy there. Ta-da. All right. So, well, folks, that was it for tonight. Just a few little things out there. Right now, my big concern is the fact that they're taking away people's individuals' rights and they're freezing bank accounts because they don't like what we're saying. That's disturbing. And that we need to keep an eye on. Russia, Ukraine, maybe, maybe not. Hopefully not, because if it does pop off, it'll go everywhere. It would get ugly. But take care, Red. Be good, man. Uh, But yeah, folks, you guys be safe out there. You guys take care of yourselves. I'm gonna wrap it up and give these folks a call. Make sure they didn't break anything on one of my work sites. Uh, Watch the prices again. Keep in budget it out, adjust accordingly. Course corrections, not panics, right? And that's how we get through stuff like this. And assuming nobody really screws up overseas and pops off a war, a couple of months it should level off, and then we can start planning around pricing that's consistent. May not be where we want it, but it'll at least be consistent, and we can kind of function from there. Thank you, Ghetto, Monique, everybody. Unknown Challenger, hey, what's going on? So if I missed anyone out there, my apologies. The chat kind of zipped off on me. But folks, I got to get back to it. It's going to be a late night at work. So you guys take care and be safe. God bless. And I will see you guys maybe Saturday if I'm not traveling. Take care.